100% Mommyfied is brought to you by Culture Management Group and Gandor Cosmetics. So when I had this idea of a podcast, the Modern Day Mom podcast, I definitely knew Eno Quagraine. Did I say it right, Eno?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Would be one of my first guests.
Right.
It was just a few years ago that, you know, I've heard talkative mom. But literally there was no face. Like, it was just people saying, oh, do you know talkative mom? You're a mom too, you know, you should know. And I was like, who's talkative mom? And then you launched your app.
Yeah.
And it was literally everywhere on my Instagram, like people sharing it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Because I had at one time wanted to do an app. Mm-hmm. But then it's a lot of work. So God bless you for that. But then I met you officially at the post-pregnancy Bougie Express baby shower.
Right.
And then I thought, oh my gosh, she's even cool in person. Like, because it's rare that you see people on socials. Because after a while, obviously, I saw you on socials. Yeah. And then in person, they're just so nice.
Yeah.
And then after that, we started bumping into each other, like friends, children's birthday parties, events. So I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Because you are the talkative mom, one of Ghana's biggest mommy influencers. And you know, when it comes to even influencing, it's hard out here in the sense, you know, like we're still getting a grip of what it is. And then in the mommy space, this is huge.
Yeah.
So Eno, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Vanessa.
Eno, just like myself, is a boy mom.
Yeah.
What is the boy mom life like for you? Because I have one. You have two. Mm-hmm. One is like having 10. Mm-hmm. So two must be like having 20.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're back to back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, parts. It's like go. Like an energy from morning, like 6 a.m. till like the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Running around, complaining they are bored, fighting, climbing things they shouldn't climb. You know, like sometimes I actually just let them be. Right. So I'm just like, okay, if you're going to fight it, I'll just fight it out. May whoever win. Like at this point, like I'm done. I'm tired. Sometimes I need to get away to hear my thoughts. Right. Like you feel like you're going crazy. Right. Like it's a lot. And then they also want you to be like really upbeat and
all the time.
Yes. So it's a lot. I mean, I don't know. Everything they say about boy moms out there is true.
It's true.
It's true.
So true.
Yeah.
Did you expect to do back to back? Because when I see back to back, I get nervous. Yeah. I find it, I've done back to back, then I'm good. I can go on with my life, you start my life all over again, as they say. But it's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, like I always tell like other moms, like it gets really bad before it starts to get better. Okay. Right now, it's much better because obviously they're toddlers. Right. But back when they were babies, I mean, it was horrible. Because it's like having twins.
It's just like having twins.
Yes.
The only difference is that with twins, both of them are babies. You're taking care of them.
Right.
But here, one is technically,
not a
really a baby, but it's still a baby.
Yes.
And doesn't really understand why you seem to be taking care of this one more. It's not like you're taking care of the second one more, but then the second one is a baby and needs you more. So it's like, okay, when this, and they don't get what it is. Right. And he was just one when his brother came. So he's not really sure. He's still figuring it out. Is it like a teddy bear? Is it like just a blanket? So it's like, it could be anything. Yeah. So he's looking at this thing and it's like, this thing cries. And every time it cries, mommy picks it up. So then let me cry. Oh. So then he starts to cry and I'm like,
how am I doing this?
Yeah. And then it's not, trust me, at this stage, nanny or no nanny, he really doesn't care. Right. It's like, I want mommy. Yes. When the baby cries, the nanny doesn't pick the baby up. It's you. So you have to, Yes. Or he started to walk and suddenly has refused to walk because that baby is always being carried. So I also want to be carried. Wow. So it's just like the attention bit. And then learning to share. Yes. Like, mom's attention and it's a lot. I actually remember when he started school a few months after his brother came. Okay. And then his teacher told me that she's begging me, can I not carry him? because when he comes to school, he wants to
be carried.
And I was like, well, this is what I'm facing at home because I'm carrying the baby, you know. So it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say has been your greatest lesson so far as a mom?
I would actually say don't do back to back, but
really,
yeah, because it's emotionally, physically, psychologically draining.
Right.
When you move past it, cool. But what if you never do?
Yes.
Yeah. And some moms get stuck there.
Yes.
You know, it's for me. It was really a lot. I don't think I was prepared. I don't know if there's any manual that could actually prepare you, because even if you read about it,
it's still your own experience that you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then in your mind, you think, oh, I had one baby, so I can definitely do this. But the switch from 1 to 2, honestly, to me, I felt like I suddenly had like 12 kids.
Right.
I just thought it was just going to be like one more child.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I felt like I was like trying to balance too many things at once. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So to me, if you can space it out, try.
Like how what would you say the gap should be?
So I would say 2 years, 3 years tops. The reason why I'm saying that is because usually when it goes past about 3 years, like when the first is like potty trained and all, it's like you start to feel lazy and you start like
just starting all over again.
Yeah, you're like, do I really want to go again?
Yeah.
You start, But then if it's just like a few years, I think it's okay.
Okay.
I don't think it gets easier, but
okay.
I think it's much better than 1 year. 1 year, 1 year, even 9. I know people who are like Irish twins.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't.
I've been seeing a lot on my Explorer page.
Yeah.
Like all the different types of moms, you know, and the age gaps. And when I see the moms that have like babies and then babies, I'm like,
yeah,
are you okay?
Yeah. It's a lot. For me, I also think I was lucky in the sense that my firstborn really is like a firstborn. Like, he's very independent. He's like a real big brother. Yes. Sometimes very bossy.
Yes.
So I don't know if I forced him to grow, but he was able to like come into the role really well.
Okay.
And like, the second born is like a baby, and he's 4. He still wants to be carried.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, okay, so if you had come first, I don't know
what. Yeah.
Yeah, because the carrying phase and all that I went with the firstborn only lasted for, you know, like maybe a few months. But after that, you know, he got it. He understood, oh, this is his little brother.
Yes.
And then started to like enjoy it and all that. But with the second, he's different. He's different. Yeah, he's a baby.
Was there a point where you lost yourself within motherhood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, especially when I had the first 3 months, I'll never forget. I couldn't recognize myself.
Yeah.
There's this one photo that I'm the only one who has access to my phone, but I've actually hidden the photo like on my phone. I don't want to delete it.
Yes,
but
you don't want to see it.
Exactly. It was just like I was lost. I couldn't recognize myself.
Wow.
I didn't think I was beautiful.
Wow.
There were so many things going on in my body that I didn't really understand. Yeah. And I really thought I would never get back to who I was before. Wow. Like, I was so sure that I couldn't recognize who I was. Like, it was just a lot. And I don't know whether it was also because of my age at the time, because I had my first quite early. I was about 26.
Okay.
So at that time, I mean, you know, you're still very impressionable. Like, you know, at that time, you're still young. Yes. So I just felt like, wow, like I've kind of like given up my youth, you know, that's how I felt. Well, the money I wait till I was like my 30s.
Yeah.
I felt like, And then to top it all off, all my friends, I was the first to have my child, first to get married first. So all my friends were still like going out, partying,
living it up.
Yeah, and then I was just like, no, like I was really, really down for a long time. Yeah.
And how did you come out of that place? Because a lot of moms are going through it.
Yeah.
And they just don't know how to get out of that. It's like, what's the process? Is there a process? Do I just let it unfold? Do I just let it be? Like, how?
Yeah. For me, honestly, I think when I started to heal, so it was physical before, you know, it moved to like psychological, emotional and all that. So physically, because I wasn't fully healed, I wasn't myself.
Right.
Once I started to heal, that kind of like helped, I don't know, improve my mood.
Okay.
And then when I was able to heal, I started to work out.
Okay.
And then when I started to work out, you know, it was like that.
It just one thing after another, you're just slowly but surely getting back to who you were.
Exactly. So that helped. Even the workouts, I got like a small indoor trampoline.
Okay.
Because I still had to watch the baby.
Right.
So then if I'm in the nursery with him, I'm like jumping on I was like doing my jumping jacks on the trampoline, things like that, or lay a mat and then do like my sit-ups, planks, things like that. So slowly, it happened. Like it started with the physical, and then I realized that, my mood, like my, you know, and then like now it's like, I'm socializing. Okay, now I want to go out, you know, so it was like very gradual.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I can remember exactly when this happened, that happened.
Right.
But it was somewhere after the third month.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think as moms, we just really have to give ourselves grace and time.
Yeah.
It will happen. It's just like, you just have to give yourself some time. Yeah.
And I think we're in an age now where it seems like everyone is snapping back so fast.
Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, you've given birth today and tomorrow you're like snatched. And that's not the reality.
Yeah.
And I want moms to know that's not the reality. And also know that also everyone is different.
Yeah.
Because even for me, when I delivered, 3 weeks later, I was literally back to
your old size.
My old size.
Oh, wow.
And even that I was sad about because I love the weight that I had put on because I've always naturally been petite.
Okay.
So the little weight that I put on during my first, I was like excited. Oh my gosh, my boobs. And 3 weeks later, I was flat stomach and everything. So when I even shared the picture, people were DMing me and they're like, oh, V, is everything okay? Did you have the baby? Is he safe? Because they thought maybe, you know, something. Yeah. And like, I don't know what they thought. Yeah. But that was my experience. But I always, even with that, I still encourage moms to take their time. Because it is a lot of work. You've carried a child. Your body is changed. Yeah. Emotionally, your body is going through so much. Yeah. So don't put pressure like me. I didn't put people who asked, did you work out? Did you? No. I did literally nothing. Yeah. And I was sad. I was even sad because I lost the weight. I wanted to, you know, because I lost the weight, even my lactation, like I think that is what affected because, and I was still eating. The crazy thing is I was eating, but I just dropped back to my old pre-baby size. And so I didn't breastfeed.
Right, same here.
Naturally, or is it naturally? Yeah. It was like even the first 2 weeks, I thought he was, I think we spoke about that. I don't know if we have, I thought he was getting milk.
Oh, but he wasn't,
And my mom kept saying he's crying a lot, like why? And I'm like, new baby, I didn't know. Yeah. Went to the hospital and he had dropped. He was 8 pounds when he was born. I don't know what that is in kg, but when we went to his checkup, he was 6 pounds.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And in New York, they don't play that. Like they will get your child taken from you. So they put him on formula, then they admitted him. They didn't want to admit me with him. Thankfully, my mom worked at the hospital. So I stayed with him and he pumped the weight like that. But you see, so people don't even realize me losing weight could have caused that. And that made me stressed, you know. But everyone you got to focus on yours.
Exactly.
You know, and not, you know, be so because I see so many moms in my Explorer and I'm like, literally just had a baby. Yeah. So we've heard your experience a bit in your first pregnancy. How different was it with your second?
I mean, the pregnancies were the same, identical. But then the first birth was very traumatic.
Okay.
Yeah, that was hell because I was in labor for 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. So yeah, that was a lot for me.
48 hours.
Yeah. 48 hours, and then I also had an episiotomy because it was vaginal. But then at the time when I had to push, because I had labored for so long, I had no energy.
You were tired? Yeah.
I couldn't push, and they're like, okay, you know what, we have to cut you. And then I didn't really know what the implications. I was just like, it can't get worse than the pain I'm experiencing right now. But I felt everything.
Wow.
I felt everything. So once the baby came out, I experienced that. To me, that was childbirth. I thought, okay, this is what it is.
Right.
So I was scared and I was scared about what the second pregnancy was going to be like. Second pregnancy, easy peasy. But then the birth was different from the first. So that was quicker.
Okay.
Like I think I was in labor somewhere like 4 a.m. I had him at 6:20 a.m. And then fun fact is that I had both 6:20 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. They were supposed to be twins. They were. So the second was in a hurry to come out.
Okay.
I had a tear. That's the only thing. But apart from that, birth was easy peasy. But then postpartum was different. Postpartum with the first, I experienced postpartum depression with the first.
Okay.
But he was such an easy baby to take care of. Like he would sleep, he would eat, things like that. Second baby, whatever I did with the first, I'll try with this. It wasn't working. Wow. And these are 2 boys.
Yes.
So I'm like, I mean, come on, how different can it be?
Yeah.
Every 40 minutes he was up. And I'll try everything in the book. My mom came over and you would think this is a veteran mom. She knows everything.
Yes.
She cried one night.
Oh.
So she's like, no, I've tried everything.
I've tried it and nothing is working.
Nothing. You would leave him to sleep and, to cry, not even to sleep. You leave him to cry because you're like, okay, let me just allow you to cry.
Yes.
If you leave him to cry 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you go meet him at the same pitch.
Wow.
Like he's not letting up. He's crying. So it was a lot for a couple of months till somewhere, I think like 8 months.
Okay.
It started to get better, then 10 months.
Right.
Yeah. But it was so that having a cry, like a baby's constantly crying, and then having a toddler.
Yes.
So that was a lot. At the beginning, I was doing the Superman things. I think most women go through that where it's like, oh, I don't need a nanny. I can take care of the baby by myself. So first baby, I didn't have a nanny throughout.
Wow, throughout.
I didn't have a nanny throughout. That, I had him, then I was pregnant. I didn't have a nanny. But then
the second,
I was like, okay, I need
the help.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot. Plus, I've started school and so many things. And then even with my mom and then my mom-in-law, they are still old, so they still need a nanny.
Yes,
with them,
regardless. Yeah.
So it was different. It was also a lot. Yeah.
Speaking of like your mom and your mom-in-law tribe. I always talk about having a tribe and the importance because it's really helped me. I've leaned on my tribe a lot. It's a small group. Like it's my best friends of 31 years who I call them veteran moms because one had her first at 16. Oh, wow. So I saw her raising her son. And then all 3 of them all had children before me. So they're like my tribe, and then I have a few mommy friends, and then of course my mom. Yeah. But they have been the biggest support ever. Yeah. And then I'm in 1 or 2 mommy groups, which I entered just with Aaron. It was just before I got just when I was pregnant with Aaron. Right. I found Mommy and Me. Right. So I've been in Mommy and Me since then. Yeah. Still in it. But there's a lot of veteran moms in that group. Yeah. Who there were times when Aaron would be sick and I'm like, what do I do? Yeah. Like, especially being a diaspora baby. Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't raised here. I was still fresh. Now I brought my kid back. Yeah. I didn't know a lot. Yeah. So I would drop things in the group like, oh my God, Aaron is sick. Most of them would say, listen, you don't have to go to the hospital. Relax. But first time mom, I was always running. Yeah. I was taking them to the hospital. But they were also a support anytime I needed any advice. Mm-hmm. So having a tribe, I think has been my greatest blessing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree because I have been in I think like 3 mom groups. I was also in Mommy and Me, some other WhatsApp mom groups that was so helpful because it connected me to a lot of doctors, baby shops, so that helped. And then also, like I said, my mom-in-law, my mom, my husband, he was also very helpful. I think my sister-in-law, like, you have all these at different times I needed them, differently. So they've all sort of helped. Sometimes even going out, like let's say we'll go for a family outing, just having someone hold the baby for just 5 minutes.
It's a breather. It's like, thank you.
Yes. For me, I count that as help. Yes. So things like that, little things like that. I feel like if you can lean on anyone, I'm talking about helpful people, please do. Don't do it all on your own. You can't. Yes. Even if it's one child,
You can't.
Yeah, it's a lot. Don't underestimate just how stressful it can be.
I always say, if you're a mom in Ghana and you don't know Talkative Mom, you might be under a rock, which is okay because moms were all busy. Yeah. But did you ever, when Talkative Mom started, how did it begin actually?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, early on, we're talking about having like a tribe and stuff like that. And I said that I was the first to have a baby among my friends group. So for me, I didn't really have anyone around my age to like ask questions.
Right.
My mom was there, but that was like so many years ago.
Yes.
I would ask her questions and she'd say she doesn't remember.
My mom
too. So I was like, okay, so what do I do? Now I found myself in mom groups.
Right.
And I thought, okay, this is cool. But then I said, I feel like I can't relate to these stories. So why don't I just like write about my journey somewhere?
Okay.
And I was wondering what to do. And then at the time, I was like, okay, let me start a blog. So I was reading about mom blogging and stuff like that. And then I spoke to my husband and he's like, okay, let me put together like a blog for you. Right. And then you would manage it. Because that's how he is. He's like, I'll do this. And then
you take control.
Over. So I was like, okay, fine. Taught me what to do and all that. And then I just started blogging. So I didn't really, it wasn't like I started as a business.
Okay.
It was like just a little blog.
Right.
Let me just write my story. So I would write right from when I found I was pregnant all the way till like postpartum and all that. Yeah. But then because I had back-to-back pregnancies, like I always had a lot of like, stories.
Yes.
So yeah, people actually thought I got pregnant just so I could continue the blog.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was like, who plans these things?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then when I was writing, I was like, okay, let me not make it about myself. Mm-hmm. I feel like now I'm getting more and more readers. Maybe these readers might be interested in like other stories.
Right.
So I'll just put it out there on Instagram and ask like, hey, do you have a story to share? And then I had my personal page. Mm-hmm. Interesting enough, I was sharing my blog post, like the announcements of my blog post on my personal page, and then I had my Talkative Mom page, which was just for mom memes.
Yes.
I wasn't even a serious page, honestly. It was just like memes. After a while, I said, oh, you know what? Let me structure this page a little bit more. So then I was like, I'll post everything Talkative Mom on this page.
Okay.
So that was like the beginning of me like rethinking this whole thing that I created.
Right.
So restructured the page, deleted all the memes and stuff, started, and then consistently would blog, like things like that. And then, then it was like, oh, you have this platform that has mothers, so the brands are thinking, well, if I want to advertise
might as well
reach out. At that time, I didn't have anything like a media kit, a read card, nothing. It took a lot of learning and a lot of like mistakes. Mm-hmm. To get to a point where I properly structure things. Wow. And then now I started to work with brands. So it was like an organic growth.
Yes.
Before like somewhere 2019, I said, so I started this in 2018. Okay. So 2019, I said, oh, let me just register this business. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't registering it to become a business. I actually registered it because I had added on shop on my blog. So I was like, oh, people will check out, maybe one day this might be a physical shop. Yes. That's really what happened.
Okay.
So I registered it, and then the shop didn't do well.
Okay.
Yeah, the shop didn't do well because people didn't like to shop on a website. They're like, I'm here to read. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not here. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is not for me. Let me continue working with brands and stuff. So from there, it was like, honestly, it's been a learning curve. Yeah. Then in 2020, I was like, I got this idea of putting together like an app.
Yes.
And then you can now have Talkative Mom app, then the show, and then it's just like been on and on and on.
The show and okay, so the app is incredible.
Yeah,
it's easy to navigate, and it's your go-to.
Yeah,
which is like incredible, and I love the fact that, of course, it's Ghanaian.
Yeah,
which is important. It's our own, and now you've built this brand that is like on another level.
Thank you.
And then you come to shock us with, so you took a little time off for a few months, and then you come back and you're like, I have something for you guys. And we're all thinking, what is it? What is it? What can it be? Like everyone is responding with something. Yeah. And you're just like, no. Okay, a couple of people have figured it out. And then you announce Talkative Mom Studio.
Yeah.
What can we expect? Because quick before you answer, I know when when you've broken down like what is going to the services. I'm so excited about the daycare, and for some, like I'm one of those moms that I'm very like, should I take my child there? But with you, when you said, I was just like, oh, yes, I will be sending, the children there, because I feel comfortable with you, and I feel safe. Like my children will be very safe. So yes, what are some of the services? What is the Talkative Mom Studio going to offer us mamas? First of all, it's in East Legon. So shout out to all my East Legon moms, but everyone else, please, you can come. But what can we expect?
So first of all, Vanessa, thank you. I'm very excited about this. This has been, I wouldn't say a lifelong dream, but this has been something I needed. So then I decided to create something that I needed for myself. Right. I believe people like you are comfortable bringing their kids there because they know that I'm a mom myself, and this is a place that I'll be with my kids, and I wouldn't treat anyone differently than, what I would do with my kids, So now what to expect? So Talkative Mom Studios is the village, okay? It's supposed to be like a parenting village where you have all the different hands that you need to raise a child. So in my mind, what I wanted was just a calm, safe space for parents to come and, even if you're, like, let's say you need a therapist, like you need someone to talk to, you can just come. So that's like the first step. And then also you need to leave and go somewhere. You can come drop off your kids. There'll be nannies there to bath them, dress them up. They will take a nap if they have to. The parents, you tell us like, oh, do they still take naps? Things like that. We'll put them down for a nap. If they are being potty trained, we would ensure that they are potty trained there, fed and all that. So that is that bit. And that falls under what we call building blocks. So building blocks is supposed to be like, you're not perfect. It's like we're kind of like helping each other build the child. And then, so that's it. But then also we wanted to make the place very inclusive. So we wanted to make sure that even if your child was experiencing like learning differences, like dyslexia or whatever, or they were on the spectrum or whatever, we would have people who were trained and could take care of them. So that is one aspect. Then the second aspect is the extracurricular, because that is something I'm very passionate about. So I really wanted to focus on that because I noticed that for a lot of parents, it's like, reading, writing. Okay, my child wasn't first in class, so the child is useless. I'm like, no. I believe that extracurricular actually helps improve grades and things like that. So our extracurricular is solely focused on traditional Ghanaian dance and music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and this was inspired by one of my close friends. So she is in Princeton right now doing her PhD because of traditional dance and music. Like she knows how to play the xylophone, the drums, things like that. So I said we would do that here, and we would even invite her. So she would come next year and come talk to the kids and the parents. Because parents really want to know, so what's the end goal here? So if they see someone who's achieved so much with this, they would kind of see where the vision is. So that is the other. And then there are other amenities.
And so also the lactation. Which I think is incredible. The lactation classes.
I struggled to breastfeed. So I was like, okay, I really need to have a lactation consultant there to help struggling moms like myself breastfeed. We have birth classes with experts, and we have Lama's classes. So you come with your spouse, and then come experience that together, learn, because it's not just about the moms,
It's not.
So,
and the funny thing is, even now, that's another reason why I'm excited to travel out is because of these types of services that are offered outside and not here. So this is like top notch. So these things. We also have a spa. So we have so that is not owned by me. So that is owned by a business called Alpha Aesthetica. And Alpha Aesthetica is owned by Dr. Albi. So she has her spa in the studios. So you can go in for facials, for massages, for postpartum hair loss treatment. Different services. So they would offer that. And then also my mom, she's managing the kitchen. So we have Auntie Nana's kitchen. So
different things like that. Yeah, and then different programs as well. So
amazing.
yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the journey because you've really evolved.
Yeah.
As the talkative mom that just keeps going and going and going. And this new chapter, I think, first of all, is needed.
Yeah.
What you have built and what you are building when it comes to the Talkative Mom Studios is grand. So obviously, I'll be supporting. You'll probably see me there too much. You'll probably be like, we get it. We understand.
Please come.
But I'm just really, really excited for you.
Thank you so much. One of the things I'll say to you, Vanessa, is, when I first met you, I didn't know what to think, but you ended up being like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Like actual, genuine conversations. I feel like we have so much in common. I feel like we just vibed. I really, really enjoyed, just having you in my space and like the time when I met you and all that. Actually, we met on the Twitter space. That's how do you know that we were on the Twitter space together? Yes. And then it was after that.
I reached out to you.
Yes. And even when we're talking, I could tell, we kind of share the same values, the same kind of like ideologies and things about like not stressing and not being like a superwoman and stuff like that. So, I feel like with you, it's like what you see is what you get. Yeah, and I really, really love that about you.
Oh, thank you so much. Not today, Eno, not today. But thank you so much. Same. The same energy is how I felt. That's why I'm always, still reaching out to you and supporting what you do. You're right. I'm very like black and white in a sense. Like, if I love, and I'm gonna just, and if I don't, I'm just like, I don't fake it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get the same from you also. So I'm just grateful that we can even share this mommy space together, because that's like, we can share it, and you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but we still know that
we can support each other.
Exactly. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are definitely 100% Mommyfied. 100% Mommyfied is brought to you by Culture Management Group and Gandor Cosmetics.